Tonight on Nebraska Nightly.
Recent storms forced a Lincoln company to let workers go.
A church faces millions of dollars in damage.
And students are preparing for finals week. This is Nebraska Nightly.
Live from the Don and Lorena Meyer studio at the University of Nebraska-Lincoln College of Journalism and Mass Communications, this is Nebraska Nightly.
Welcome to Nebraska Nightly. I'm Madeline Fox.
And I'm Lance Vi. Our top story today.
In the aftermath of last week's tornado, Garner Industries announced 62 employee layoffs yesterday. The tornado caused damage to the plant, rendering the facility beyond repair. The April 26 tornado hit the facility on the northeast edge of Lincoln with more than 70 workers inside and was caught by a dash camera. The EF3 tornado destroyed the 115,000 square foot facility, including production, engineering, warehousing, inventory, and office space. All machine tools and mold automation equipment have been destroyed. CEO and president of Garner Industries, Scott McLean, said layoffs are necessary for them to stay in business, and it's a difficult situation since the people are like family. Garner is providing compensation and health benefits to employees affected by the layoff. The company organized community support, medical and mental health assistance, and new employment recruiting opportunities.
Early Saturday morning, just before 3 a.m., Lincoln Fire and Rescue responded to a call at the New Covenant Community Church. Smoke was coming from the roof. Fire and Rescue have not confirmed the cause of the fire, but a lightning strike may be the culprit. Damage is estimated to be at $1.5 million, with most of it being in between the roof and the ceiling. But that didn't stop the congregation from gathering in the church parking lot Sunday morning for worship and prayer. The incident is still under investigation, and all additional services and programming has been canceled.
Dead Week is in full swing here at the University of Nebraska-Lincoln, and with that comes students cramming for finals. When it comes to studying, it's important to take brain breaks to avoid burnout and help stay focused. It is recommended to take a 5-minute break for every 25 minutes spent studying. During the break, get physical. Go for a walk to increase blood circulation. Be social, meet with a friend, or call a family member. Free your mind. Focus on something different. Ditch the screen. Put away your computer or phone. Stay hydrated. Water will help keep you healthy and alert. There are many places on campus that you can spend your break at, such as walking through the Sheldon Art Museum, getting coffee at the Union Starbucks, or Taza Coffee in Knoll or Kiewit, or rock climbing at the Outdoor Center.
It's election season again, and this year it's important to get out and vote. This will be the first year the new Nebraska state IDs will be used. Including the presidential election, Nebraskans will be able to vote on topics like who's going to be representing their voice in Congress, at the Senate, and in local government. Voters will also be able to decide who will represent their voice in the Senate, Congress, and in the local government. You have until May 13th to vote early, either in person or by mail. Acceptable forms of ID include driver's license, passport, and the new voter ID. If you cannot afford a voter ID, you can apply for a state ID for voting purposes at dmv.nebraska.gov. To confirm your voting registration information and voting location, go to votercheck.nevcr.ne.gov. And before you vote, make sure that you do your research on who you want to speak for you.
Amanda Wright is being held without bond for the first-degree murder of her husband on May 3rd. Amanda Wright's husband, Zachary Svoboda, died of acute intoxication due to methamphetamine and fentanyl on August 24th of last year. LPD investigators say physical and digital evidence indicates Svoboda's death was intentional. A related narcotics investigation led to the arrest of Wright on drug charges and the possession of a stolen firearm. She is lodged in the Lancaster County Jail and is being held on a $500,000 bond for the drug charges, 10% of which can be paid for release. We now go to our local meteorologist, Logan Schlotman, to see if all this rain is finally behind us. Logan?
Let's talk about that rain that was behind us. While looking at our 24-hour totals for the state of Nebraska, we do see the eastern half of the state did get most of that rain, with anywhere from around half an inch to over an inch and a half for most of the state, with 0.84 of an inch over in Lincoln. With our year-to-date precip percent, so this tells us how much, if we're above or below average, where we should be at for the year. We do see most of the state is above average, with some places an exception in southeast Nebraska, over southwest and North Platte, and up in O'Neill. But overall, Nebraska is doing pretty good rain-wise, with better chances in the future. I'll be back with a complete forecast right after the break.
Thanks, Logan. Coming up on Nebraska Nightly, Rafah has been attacked by Israel.
And TikTok is pushing back on its ban in the U.S.
Tonight on Nebraska Nightly.
Need for blood never stops. And at the Nebraska Community Blood Bank, your blood could help save lives. Right now, only 7% of the population donates blood. But imagine if there were more.
We're sitting at below a 7-day level of supply of all blood types across the board. So every blood type is important, and we need all donors of all types to come in and donate right now.
At the Nebraska Community Blood Bank, they believe that all types make a strong blood supply.
It's dead week for students, and we return to Logan Schlautman to see if the students can enjoy the weather before finals.
It's shaping up to be a great dead week for Lincoln and for the rest of the state, with temperatures currently in the 60s and 70s, with 70 in Kearney, 62 up in O'Neill, and 74 over in Omaha. Taking a look at Lincoln, there is some clouds across the state, across the city, with 75 degrees. But what, as most Midwesterners say, it would have been a perfect day if there was no wind. I can attest to that. We have gusts up to 40 miles per hour in Lincoln, with low dew point, low humidity, and no feels like temperature. While satellite and radar, we do see some clouds. Severe weather is happening over in the Appalachian Mountains, with cloud coverage over up in Northwest America. Zooming into Nebraska, what we do see is some clouds that have been forming and making some more convection, but nothing too much for Lincoln and Nebraska. Our NAMS model will be showing on and off precipitation for the next 60 hours, with a chance for some slight thunderstorms happening Wednesday night. But as we see here, this is for Thursday, just on and off precipitation, which is why we have those 20% chances. Long range, our GFS model, the same thing goes, just should be on and off precipitation all the way till next Tuesday. Rain chances, we will have 20% on Wednesday and Thursday before we do hit a dry spell on Friday and Saturday, with 20% and a 30% back for Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. Looking at the totals that we could receive over the next 7 days on our 1 to 7 day QPF, it should be no more than half an inch for the state of Nebraska, but that could change depending on some factors in the atmosphere. Later conditions for tonight, it will be cloudy, 50 degrees, south-southwest wind of 8 to 13 miles per hour, cloudy, and we could see gusts up to 60 miles per hour. Heading into tomorrow, partly cloudy, high of 72 degrees. The wind's going to shift to a northwesterly wind of 8 to 14 miles per hour, partly cloudy, and like I was saying earlier, some chances for some PM thunderstorms throughout Wednesday night into Thursday morning. Your week ahead, as you do see, lots of sunshine with clouds too, but temperatures is going to be the main thing. We'll mainly see above average temperatures rising throughout the day, and going into your Mother's Day weekend, we will see the chance of the return of 80s, with 81 degrees on Sunday, 79 degrees on Monday, and some scattered thunderstorms are possible on Tuesday, but 81 degrees. In that week ahead, we will be seeing warmer temperatures for all of Nebraska, for higher chances for more above average temperatures. Same thing with precipitation. This is more nationwide, where we'll have those above average chances for precipitation. That's all I have for the weather. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Logan. An Israeli military official says Israel has captured the Gaza side of the Rafah crossing. It's a vital entry point for much-needed aid. The White House says the movement and airstrikes aren't necessarily the start of a major offensive. In fact, Israel says they're a ceasefire negotiating tactic. But as Amy Kiley reports, analysts worry for the millions of civilians taking refuge in the city.
Apparent gunfire sounds out of Rafah today heard over the border in Egypt. They're amid an Israeli military operation that left multiple people dead, according to Palestinian civil defense. It comes hours after Israel urged people to evacuate certain areas. It also follows celebrations over Hamas's agreement to a ceasefire and prisoner exchange.
There is a new opening door for a possibility.
A document obtained by CNN indicates the deal includes a, quote, period of sustainable calm. Protesters in Israel are urging their leaders to accept the offer and get back hostages. But Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and his war cabinet aren't on board yet.
He wants a ceasefire and a hostage return, but not a permanent ceasefire. Hamas wants a prisoner exchange, hostage return, and a permanent ceasefire.
Israel and Hamas are set to continue negotiations today.
In parallel, we are still operating in the Gaza Strip and will continue to do so.
Israel says its latest airstrikes and movements are a way to pressure Hamas to meet demands. The White House says they aren't necessarily the start of a major offensive. Analysts say that would be devastating for civilians.
The president doesn't want to see operations in Rafah that put at greater risk the more than 1 million people that are seeking refuge there.
I'm Amy Kiley reporting.
A group of teens in Mississippi went fishing and caught something unexpected, a human leg. The discovery has now led to an investigation in Flowood. Scott Simmons reports the police are trying to find out who the lake belonged to.
It was all hands on deck for Flowood and Rankin County emergency operations staff. They were scouring a remote pond because of a group of teens who were fishing where they were not supposed to be, but found the first clues of something sinister.
Kind of a, needle in a haystack, was out fishing and, hooked a sock that was attached to some human remains. And that's how this whole thing got started.
The retention pond is located on a remote stretch of property owned by the city of Flowood. It didn't take search teams long to locate other body parts, each bagged and tagged for investigators and retrieved from a pond that happened to be a shallow waterway just a few feet deep, but far from everyday traffic.
This is, again, city property. It is gated with no trespassing signs, no fishing signs, so there is very minimal traffic back here.
And a pond known to have alligators. Investigators admit they have a lot of work to do, piecing together the clues of this case.
Part of the investigation, we are receiving all the missing persons reports from this area and then broaden it out from there. But we need to identify male, female. We don't have any of that information at this time.
Investigators are checking missing persons reports from the immediate area while they await updates from the coroner and the state crime lab.
TikTok could be banned in the United States starting in 2025, but ByteDance, TikTok's parent company, will not take this decision lying down. ByteDance filed a petition claiming the law is unconstitutional. The company says the law blocks free speech and prevents users from accessing lawful information. This comes after President Joe Biden signed legislation last month to ban the social media platform in the U.S., unless the company sells it to a non-Chinese entity by January 2025. Shortly thereafter, TikTok CEO said the company won't sell and will fight in the courts to stay online in the U.S. There could be pushback from young people if TikTok goes away in the U.S. Recent Pew Center studies report more than half of the population under 30 are TikTok users.
The cycle of addiction and homelessness can be a brutal one to break. In Reno, Nevada, there's a new program called GRIT that focuses on getting these people back on their feet. Shelby Sheehan reports it happens while burning calories and developing muscles.
Every Saturday, there's an energy that fills the air at Redirect Athletics. There's punching and jabbing and kicking. But the fight is about way more than just martial arts.
The GRIT program is a program designed to reintegrate people from treatment or from the streets back into the community by using exercise, volunteering, and a little bit of wellness.
Addiction recovery and homeless advocate Grant Denton has been running the GRIT program since January. He picks up men and women at local recovery shelters in a van and brings them to the gym. They learn about boxing and the importance of self-care in recovery. For those who are getting sober and off the streets, it's been a life changer.
At 29 years old, I'm tired of messing up. You know what I mean? And this is very important for me. This is the best thing I could have done in my life, is joining this program.
On this day, Brandon Hall is 4 months, 6 days sober. He says he's fighting for his health and his family, a family that now includes a 7-month-old daughter.
Oh man, I love it. I love it. It gives us a chance in our Crossroads community to really let out aggression and, you know, get in shape and give back to the community and stuff like that. Man, it's been a blast.
It's about discipline. It's about coming to the gym when you don't want to come to the gym. It's about pushing yourself further than you would originally go.
The GRIT program also goes into local treatment centers during the week, but on the weekend after the gym time, there's some community cleanup to do.
This is one of the most important parts of the program, is that we go out to the homeless camps on the streets where a lot of these folks have came from, and we help pick up trash out there, and we engage with the people on the streets, and we send a message of recovery.
It makes me feel good because I used to be out there, you know, 2.5 years under Sutro Bridge. Yeah, that's a long time.
As he's picking up trash and cleaning the community, Cody McIntosh can't help but think about the position he's in now. Clean, becoming healthy, and feeling hope for a better future.
It feels pretty good. I've never worked so hard in my life for something that I love so much, you know?
The sweat, the discipline, the endorphins, all new feelings for most of these participants, but they are adding up to a path of progress for those willing to work.
I think it's important that the community focuses on growing this group. We have a huge potential in this group that, if given the right support, can become huge leaders in this community.
A Nevada health insurance company, Silver Summit, has committed to paying for this first year of the GRIT Reno program. Redirect Fitness has also partnered with them to give their employees a facility to work out in. Denton says the program is open to anyone working towards sobriety.
Coming up on Nebraska Nightly, a Nebraska baseball pitcher receives national recognition.
And softball picks up a Big Ten Player of the Week award.
Nearly 1 in 3 Husker students struggle with food insecurity. Husker Pantry addresses food insecurity and a welcoming space by providing free food and personal items to UNL students in need. Due to high demand, the pantry often runs out of essential items. Help keep the pantry stocked by donating the most needed items. From canned food to personal items and cleaning supplies, you can make a difference by donating. Learn how to donate by visiting pantry.unl.edu.
Big Husker baseball news this week. Sports director Trey Marler has everything you need to know. Trey?
Last week, Jackson Brockett threw the first 9-inning no-hitter in Nebraska baseball uniform since 1954. This week, he has been named the Big Ten Pitcher of the Week for the performance. The sophomore from Elkhorn struck out 12 while only giving up 2 walks on his way to the 6th no-hitter in program history as the Huskers cruised past Kansas State 8-0. The performance earned him Big Ten, Perfect Game College, and D1 Baseball Pitcher of the Week. Brockett is back on the mound tomorrow night against South Dakota State after the Huskers took the series against Minnesota this weekend. So what was life like last time Nebraska threw a 9-inning no-hitter? Well, let's just say it was a bit different. A brand new car was just under $2,000. Gas to fill up that car was 29 cents a gallon. Average price of a home was $18,000. Dwight D. Eisenhower was serving as the 34th president, and Ronald Reagan and Art Linkletter hosted the televised opening of America's newest theme park, Disneyland. In some local baseball news, Jackson Reitz, a graduate of Norris High School, hit his first career Major League home run over the weekend. The home run came in only his third at bat after being called up by the Giants. From the baseball to the softball diamond, Husker third baseman Sidney Gray has been named the Big Ten Player of the Week. The junior went 6 for 11 over the weekend, including the go-ahead home run in Saturday's win as the Huskers took the series over Minnesota on the final weekend of the regular season. This is Gray's third time being recognized as Player of the Week this season. Just days after having to sit out the 2024 spring match in Kearney, a court date has been set for Harper Murray regarding the incidents that occurred on April 5th. The sophomore outside hitter will appear in court on May 8th regarding her driving under the influence citation on the night of April 5th. She was also cited with reckless driving, false identification, minor in possession, and obstruction of a peace officer. This is an ongoing investigation.
To be honest, Trey, I think that baseball, they've really been on a roll this year, and they're looking like they can host a regional.
Yeah, they've been kind of sitting in that 16 to 19 range in the RPI. That's definitely, they have 2 weekends left in the game tomorrow night. They have everything they want right in front of them, just about finishing now. So we'll see. That'd be really exciting stuff to get a Lincoln Regional first since, I think, 2005.
Yeah, hopefully we can get another no-hitter tomorrow night, right?
Thanks, Trey. The historic Haymarket has opened up its farmers market for the season, and we will be right back after the break. Well, a lot is happening in Lincoln. There's a lot of events to look forward to. Entertainment reporter Priscilla Castaneda has more. Priscilla?
Need to cool off? De-Stress Fest candle making and aromatherapy starts today at 6 p.m. So if you're busy today, don't stress because this will last till Friday. It is in the Oasis Lounge at the Multicultural Center. May is the National Stop the Bleed Month, and the UNL Police is collaborating with the Bryan Health to offer 2 free hands-on training that could save a life. Each class is 90 minutes and is open to all students, faculty, and staff. Registration is strongly encouraged, so go to go.unl.edu/May 2024-Stop the Bleed. Over the weekend, more than 50 musicians came downtown for Lincoln Calling. Night 1 was full of entertaining performances from local and national level acts. Headlining Night 1 of Lincoln Calling was Australian hip-hop artist TK Maitza. Throughout her performance, Maitza got to the crowd moving as she sang. On Night 2, Water From Your Eyes performed on the main stage. Lead singer Rachel Brown said they were excited to play at the festival. Brown said they were curious to see who knows their biggest song, Barley, and turns out many people were singing along. Social Cinema was the final band to perform that weekend, with their set going until 1 a.m. The festival was a success and brought many fans to downtown. Lincoln Calling Music Festival will be back next May. That's all for entertainment. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks, Priscilla. Now let's take one last look at the 7-day forecast. Logan?
Currently some rainy conditions is off and about over in Lincoln, but looking at the week ahead, we have sunshine on tap with warmer temperatures on the way with 70s headlining the rest of this week going into Saturday. But by Sunday and Monday and Tuesday, we could see 80s potentially back, but it should be a good rest of dead week going into finals week.
To be honest, Logan, I'm ready for that sun this weekend. We got one more week, we got finals, and then finishing up school for the semester.
Almost there, just right on the stretch, the end stretch.
Since it is our last show of the semester, it means that some of our members are graduating. Our very own Lance Vi will be leaving us. He has poured so much into this program.
And I'm not the only one leaving. Emily Ortiz Cantu, our very own superstar, will also be graduating as well. This is actually Emily's first time on camera throughout Nebraska Nightly, so
First time
she's
live
really
show.
excited to be out here, as you can tell.
Nebraska Nightly is a student production of the University of Nebraska's College of Journalism and Mass Communications.
Thank you for tuning in. We'll see you next semester on Nebraska Nightly.